and welcome to Faith Feature. We are honored to have Roger Burdick, the president of Drivers Village in Cicero, longtime faithful supporter of the Mars Hill Network, joining us via Zoom for this Faith Feature. Roger, thanks so much for taking time to come on with us.
You're welcome, Rich.
So I wanted to have a brief conversation with you about how the lockdowns and how COVID-19 has affected you and your family personally, and then we'll go a little bit more into how it's affected the automobile business and your dealerships and just people in general. So we'll just start off with, it's been about 2.5 months since everything has started with the lockdowns and since things, have gone to this new normal, so to speak. Tell me how it's affected you and what things the Lord has taught you and encouraged you with in this time.
Well, this is a time for faith, if ever there was a time for faith. I've never been in a period of my life when I didn't know what the next day was going to bring. And really we don't anyway, but we think we do. And in this scenario, we don't have a choice. We need to trust the Lord to take us through it. So COVID-19's impact on myself and our family has been really minimal. It's changed our gatherings. We don't gather all together as a family on Sundays like we normally do. Everybody's being careful, keeping our distances, staying at home, only shopping for the necessities, wearing masks, and doing the things that really everybody else is doing. So my impact on our family is probably not much different than it is on your family and the rest of the community. It has had a significant impact on business, and if you'd like me to roll into that side of it, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people are used to walking into dealerships and being able to test drive cars, be able to meet face to face with associates, with managers, with service advisors, and now everything is completely different. Plus, we've had a ton of people lose their jobs. There are people that may have gotten into an accident and need a vehicle switch, and all of a sudden they're in a different situation. There's a wide variety of new, unique situations that we didn't anticipate before this happened. So walk me through some of the challenges that you've had in your business and how you guys are thriving in the midst of these new challenges.
Okay. Well, let's go back to when it began. And when we first heard about COVID-19 and watched the news, watched the president every night, and watched how the news and the information changed and evolved, certainly was a time of confusion and uncertainty. We started holding a prayer meeting here with some of our leaders at 12:30 every day, and just asking the Lord to guide our steps as we work through the uncertainties. The first major impact was that they shut down automobile sales. We were non-essential. So when the list of essential and non-essential businesses came out, essential service parts and collision were deemed to be essential businesses, and automobile sales were non-essential. So even though we were able to do so, we stayed open. We kept the service departments open, but because of the stay-at-home orders, that business dropped dramatically. We dropped down to about 40 or 50% of what would be a normal service and parts and collision business. The collision business dropped even much lower than that because the stay-at-home order kept people off the road, which reduced accidents, which reduced collision business. So kind of an interesting chain of events there. But we did have some business. So with the business that we had, we limped through the end of March. We had a great month started in March in sales and service, and then it really went to almost no sales by the end of March. And then we were allowed to sell to essential businesses. That was the next uh, small opening, was that we could sell vehicles to businesses that were deemed essential. So we have a number of commercial accounts that would buy trucks and delivery vehicles and things of that nature. So we did sell a few vehicles to essential businesses. And then we were able to open up to online sales and remote sales. And in a sense, that was somewhat of a blessing, because our whole industry has talked about the need for auto dealers to be able to sell more online, like Amazon and others do. Consumers want to do business online. This thrust us into developing processes and procedures to do that, which will be good for us, because I think there'll be a percentage of our business forever going forward that'll be online business. And so we had a good learning experience, but it was still a minimal amount of business. And so in March, financially, we just barely broke even. In April, we lost a pretty good sum of money. But May has come back very strongly since we've been allowed to sell by appointment only. So we removed all the cars from the showrooms. We have all the customer waiting areas spaced out. All the chairs are spaced out. The showroom doors are locked, but our internet presence, our digital marketing, and a small amount of electronic marketing is bringing a lot of phone calls and a lot of internet leads and a tremendous recovery. We're selling quite a few cars now. We sold about 273 cars in April, and we'll do over 700 cars in May. So, and 900 is a normal number. So the recovery is tremendous. I'm really amazed by the demand for product.
You think a lot of it is pent up demand because people were locked down, and now that they're coming out of this, and now that they have a little bit more certainty of, okay, this isn't going to be forever, and people are starting to open up, and obviously the weather is warmer, the sun's back out, it finally stopped snowing in Syracuse. I think probably got some people saying, okay, it's time to trade, it's time to do something.
Yeah, we had to get to Memorial Day to see the sun. So
yeah, and then all of a sudden it was 95 degrees. So that seems to happen more springs than not lately. So.
Yeah, maybe there was pent up demand for the sun. So
yeah,
but yes, that is part of it. Part of it is pent up demand. Part of it is the financing programs that are being offered by the manufacturers. GM started, they were the first ones with 0% for 84 months, no payments for 90 days. That brought traffic to the websites, and others followed suit with similar programs. Another piece of it is people got their stimulus check, and this is the time of year people get their tax refunds. So when people have cash, they feel that it's a time that they can make a decision. So I think we have pent up demand, the cash available in consumers' pockets to be able to do this.
So as you look ahead, when you look at how things are right now, as we head into June, July, and August, based on what we're seeing at this point at the end of May, like you were saying before, we were kind of living in this period of faith to where we have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. But if you had a crystal ball, or just based on your sense from what you're seeing with people right now, how do you think business overall, not just your business, but just business and the economy overall, what signs are you seeing? What do you see going forward in the next couple of months?
I think it depends on how well this the reopening goes. I think that there's a pent up demand for people to go out to eat, to go to a restaurant, to stop at their favorite coffee shop, and to get to some sense of normalcy. So I think that if the opening happens without a spike in more COVID-19 cases, then I think we'll see a pretty good recovery. Not up back to 100% right away, but I think it'll ramp up back to 100% by fall. then we have the question of schools opening, colleges opening, and churches opening. We have all of these things that people would love to see happen. And so again, there's uncertainty about those things, but I'm praying that we'll truly have a vaccine that will put people's mind at ease, give them some peace and about the whole virus. And should that happen, I think we'll get back to normalcy much quicker. If that does not happen, I think it's going to be a little longer, dragged out ramp up, slow ramp up to normal. So that's my best crystal ball on it, and it's imperfect. So the Lord knows.
One final question for you, Roger. For those people that have lost their jobs, for those people that may not get their jobs back because the recovery is too slow or it was too much for the small business to handle, and for people that have been deemed non-essential, they lost their jobs, they're struggling with their family, and people going through a whole world of hurt right now. For people that are hurting, whether financially or in other ways, what encouragement would you give them at this point?
My encouragement would be that God is in control. And I do not know what the future holds. I know He holds the future for me and for everyone else. I understand our need, those of us who have jobs, those of us who have an income, to be compassionate toward those who do not. And so we continue to be givers to ministries that minister to other people. We have had requests along the way from some ministries, some inner city ministries. So we have responded to some of those. I can't fix anybody's problems, but I would say if they stay faithful, if they just stay faithful, stay on their knees, stay close to the Lord. Sometimes crises can be a catalyst to get our relationship with the Lord on track. I know in my personal life that when I have challenges, I go to the Lord. I have a daily quiet time that I do every day, but I go deeper. I listened to a preacher one time talk about what the fish in the ocean do when there's a hurricane. They get away from the surface, they go deeper. And so we just need to get deeper into our relationship with the Lord, deeper into God's word, and trust and believe that He's going to help us tomorrow with our next steps.
Great words of wisdom from Roger Burdick, president of Drivers Village and great longtime supporter, you and your family, of the Mars Hill Network. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be on Faith Feature, to give us an update on things with your business and just some encouragement and hope in the journey for us. Thank you again for your time, Roger.
You're more than welcome, Rich. Have a blessed day.